Alright, hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today Sonny and I are inside of a mental hospital. Super cool things left behind in here. I've been here a few times and I always find myself discovering more and more every time I visit. Let's just get right on into it and see what we can find together. So this hall right here that we're starting off in is actually one of the many wards for patients here. I think there's about like 12 wards total for where patients would be in this building if they were living here. This is just one example of one of the rooms, and I'm actually gonna come a little closer over here because I was talking with Sonny briefly about this whole screen situation, how they're like called detention screens. I think one of the other rooms has it labeled as well. Pretty much to keep people in here and make sure they couldn't escape. Yeah, it's kind of crazy just to think about that again. And you can see another one here that this is all people had. This little blank space of a room, you know, nothing really else. And this is the one view they would get out into the world. Here's that window me and Sonny were talking about actually right before. As you can see right there, detention screen. And it's just, again, like you can see, it's actually like pretty heavy duty. This would kind of, obviously now it's busted, but it used to be probably locked right over this door here and make sure there was no way that they could push those windows open, because you know, initially they were built to open and close, and then maybe over time they modified some of these wards when they knew that they would be higher security. And actually right here in the neighboring room too, me and Sonny were talking about how this is probably a camera that again has to do with, you know, needing higher levels of security. And again, it was kind of weird in our minds why this room has it and some of the other rooms didn't. But who knows, maybe this room specifically was like if someone was like of the highest level, like needing a lot of watching or supervision by the nurses, which actually, interestingly enough, one of the many nurses stations, at least for this wing, is right here. So they probably were sitting here and watching in the camera over there because they're probably not gonna want to go in there, especially if probably these patients were dangerous as well. Some of them were. Yeah, that's probably how they went about it, both for the safety of the patients, because they could hurt each other, hurt themselves, or they could hurt the nurses. Also makes sense as to why there's all this heavy duty glass here. And I believe it is shatterproof as well, which is why you see when there's all this broken glass, it doesn't all fall apart perfectly. It kind of like sticks together like this, so that the glass can't like easily break in someone's face or hurt them. It's all, again, more security measures that come with being in a maximum security ward. Just crazy to see how much this place is absolutely like falling apart. Obviously in part to some vandalism. Some people have come here and, you know, vandalized the property over time, but also just, you know, all this paint peeling and stuff, that's pure natural decay. That's just some of the craziness that comes with being exposed to the elements and not being maintained for, what, upwards of 20 years for this building. Even more. Here you can just see like the straight up rust, and I don't know, I love it. I think it's kind of like a beautiful thing, and it's cool that a lot of people don't see this. Like, this is like a state of a building that most people never anticipate seeing. It's just so fascinating. So here's a really cool find, a original patient bed from this medical center, or now known as the Urban Explorer pick setup. Rightfully so, definitely cool. I would probably take a pic here, not gonna lie. Just a little down the hall, we actually came across this closet. I'm not even sure. You can kind of focus on that. Pajama pants. I also say pajama shirts. You can see that. Really washed out. But yeah, it definitely looks like this was one of the closets that they would keep all of the clothes for the patients. Also looks like there was like a little safe here, something that they kept under locks, maybe something else for patients, but had to be maybe unlocked by a nurse. Up there we even got personal hygiene kits. So yeah, they definitely had stuff like this for them, like resources probably provided by the state or funded by the state for clients or patients, probably referred to as patients, probably not clients, I feel like that's more a modern term, that, you know, would be living here long term. So they definitely needed some of these things. We actually just found like a bigger section of what I just showed you guys, like another kind of like thing, and it says like ladies' clothes, men's clothes, and it's like, you know, everything from bathrobes to PJs, men's shirt in size medium, size large. So this is really more expansive collection of like everything they could provide patients, and maybe they had like a separate section, I don't know, maybe down there for like the like higher security section, people in like the maximum security ward versus maybe everyone else. They just kept everything else here. I don't really know. There's like a little thing you can walk over here too, and it's like not just one section but like multiple, and you can see here it's like some stuff is like for hangers. There's even more things taped off here. It doesn't even look like there's anything labeled over here, but man, it's just so crazy to be in here and think of like all the nurses and people who were kind of cycled through and around here, and were kind of looking around for supplies for their patients. Yeah, just strange to see miscellaneous sizes. Would have been cool if this place was like still full of clothes, but I guess that's the magic of just having imagination. You can just pretend these are all full of things and what it would have looked like back then. So I actually tucked behind one of the other nurses' stations because there are so many wards here. And what you can see back here is what was probably like one of the medicine cabinets where they would keep everything here. Maybe if they needed anything specifically to treat or sedate, maybe even some of the patients who were housed along this strip. Because I believe over here you can see that there's like also a section right behind this glass for housing patients. So I believe they were just typical patients that didn't need to be kept under a maximum security setting versus a higher security setting just down that hall there. I wouldn't be surprised if they had medications here on hand. Sorry for all the crunch, as you can tell. Glass everywhere. To sedate patients, I wouldn't be surprised because not uncommon, especially back in the 50s and 60s when we didn't know as much about how to ethically treat patients. So, and there's Sonny being a little goofball. So right now me and Sonny are actually kind of running around a little bit because we know that there's a lot of hydrotherapy tubs in this place, and there is one specifically that's a different design than any other one we've ever really seen here. So we're kind of just like making our way all over the place because we generally know where some of them are, and it's kind of like on every single level, and there's a tub on every single floor in the same kind of area. So we're trying to see if we can figure out where that special one is. So bear with us as we run around and just discover randomness along the way. Sonny's literally running around like he's in like some, I don't know, what I assume would be a Call of Duty mission. I can't say I've ever had any experience playing Call of Duty, but Sonny's like a stealth lord. This man will never get caught, I'm telling you guys. He is so slick. Just made our way to the second floor. Let's see what's going on up here. This is actually an even better example of what I was talking about earlier at the other nurses' station, and getting this idea of how the glass can kind of like all stick together even when it shatters. Again, just for like safety precautions so that the glass couldn't be used to hurt the staff or other patients, the patient itself, all those kind of things that you'll probably only see in mental hospitals and maybe prisons. Now this is one of the cooler finds in this building here, this older medical center, is one of these original hydrotherapy tubs. It's just so crazy to me knowing that patients were literally sitting in here, 20, 30 years ago as, part of their like probably daily, weekly treatment. And it's just like so, I don't know, I almost can't even fathom it because it's like that connection to them, even though it feels kind of like so much time has passed. That it's hard to imagine what they experienced here, and then you see things like this and it's just like it hits you, like you can only imagine what they experienced here and what they felt in this room, and it's just crazy. I don't know. My my little nerdy inner self who loves the history behind these places always geeks out when I come across cool finds like these. Definitely something to appreciate. Now this, personally to me, is one of the cooler rooms in here, and people might say, why, Gabby? Why is this cool? Because it's an empty room, right? But any urban explorer knows that these checkered floors are the most iconic thing, and they just are so common that you come across them in this classic old asylum, mental hospital architecture. And just, yeah, you might come across it in other settings, but it's something very specific across asylum design that's just very identifiable. And from an architectural standpoint, it's just really cool because you know you're in an asylum when you see these kind of floors, and that's for sure. So Sonny actually let me know about this, that there's all these old medicine cups still left here. You can actually see on this one the little units measured out. If you had to give a patient a certain amount of a medication, that you could go off of that. Such a cool find. We just stumbled across what was the X-ray center, its kind of section, and like the area where they would develop all the films. So as you can see, there's all these like pages here, which I'm assuming most of them are blank, but some of them might not be. But of course, over time, they're gonna get weathered down, so you might not even be able to tell anymore. And like sections here where it says like films do not open. So probably these guys, when they first were done, if someone had to get something checked out here, probably would have them stored in here away from the light, because the light probably makes it all janky and distorts it. So, and there's probably a bunch of other things here too, which I really am not the greatest expert at what these things are. You can see like exomat duplicating, diagnostic films. I don't know if this is something, well, I mean, it doesn't look like this would go in here, so something else maybe essential for the process of making x-rays. I don't know, but definitely really cool. Even though there's like not much left in here, you can imagine it was definitely a bustling place at one point in this medical center. Something cool too is you can see that the expiration date is 1993, and this place closed in 96, I believe. So only a few years before this place shut down, these things were being bought and being used here.
That's really gross.
Yeah, guys, I have no idea. Like, we don't know what this is. We can't say 100% if it's what we think it might be, but it's just too weird looking.
Just look at the color.
Just like the color is really strange, and like how it like dried looks very real.
It's also like what here would make this? There's nothing on the ceiling that rusted, or it's just a tabletop, you know?
Yeah, I don't even know, guys. I mean, it is a
weird.
very real possibility. I mean, obviously I don't play things up, but like it is possible someone comes in here and does certain things, and I'll, leave it to your imagination maybe what could have happened here. But
It's weird.
sometimes the rumors of abandoned buildings are not just rumors. Sometimes they do be a little sketchy, so I guess decide for yourself what you think this is and how you think this happened, but definitely going to be a little bit more alert from here on out. So we actually found this, which looks like it's that dark red color we were seeing before.
You can see like on the rim, it looks like that rusty, like red color.
Yeah, and kind of like on that side there too. It says Legfine Dermicidal Cleaner. I might have to do a little research and figure out exactly what that's used for.
Yeah.
It says like of modern maintenance and effective static control. Maybe it has something to do with what they were doing here in this room for like x-ray. But yeah, you can see the color there. Definitely related to this. Not some brutal attack that happened here. Being a little dramatic, I guess. Never know. Always want to be safe. On a less dramatic note, we got this really dark curtain, which totally makes sense because if you're working with x-rays, you want to probably control all the natural light that's coming in here. So I'm assuming while they would work, they'd probably pull these boys down. Obviously this wasn't cut up initially, someone probably just did that. But yeah, so it probably would be a very traditional dark room in here. So the films wouldn't be compromised. And this is the actual room where, you can see Sonny is just being a goofball right now. but this is actually where the x-ray machine was, which I'm guessing they had to pull some of it out of the ceiling to take it out. I'm not really even sure why they put so much effort into taking it out. Maybe they could sell it off, I don't know. But yeah, you can see maybe there was like a certain part of it attached to the ground. But yeah, this, and then the person operating it was probably tucked away into this room, and they could see you through this little glass window, because of course if you're on the staff here and you're doing x-rays all day long, you probably don't want to be exposed to that without some sort of protection, like being behind here. And it actually connects through to that little kind of like cabinet thing we saw earlier for unexposed film. So probably as soon as they produced film, they would take it right out and pop it in here. And then anyone who was working on the other side could start making sense of it. This is the elevator. Anyone want a one-way stop to the gulag?
Let's go down.
Down. You were roasting me. What'd you say earlier?
You don't even game, bruh.
You don't even know what a gulag is. You good? We're frozen solid, guys. It's so cold in here.
My millimeter was saying that it was 30 degrees. So.
And there's like literally ice on the floors. It's so bad. We're getting stiff. That's how bad it is in here. Sonny and I just actually found another tub, which is amazing considering we've been here quite a few times. And this is the epitome of what I mean by you'll always be surprised sometimes when you explore somewhere. You think you know it all, and then you see something completely new that you never came across. And you can also see here the temperature gauge and everything up on top. Make sure that the water is at a right temperature for the therapy that it was being utilized for. Definitely seems like no one's seen this one in a minute, though. I mean, even I didn't find it on the first few explores that I came here. That and the dust in this room, and the fact that there's also like no graffiti in this one specifically, makes me think that no one really finds this one as much. It definitely is tucked in like a weird spot. So cool though. Glad I got to find it. What do you think, man? Was this a solid explore, but we're definitely really getting cold, right?
And it's crazy because we still didn't find everything we were looking for. There's still stuff in this building we haven't seen, so it's like a maze, it's like a mystery. Like, how could you not get lost in here?
But either way, guys, we're freezing. My hands are like immobile, so I think it's probably a good time to head out. Wouldn't you say so, Sonny?
I think it's time.
I think it's time. All right, let's bounce.
Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed tagging along with Sonny and I as we explored through this old abandoned asylum. Super cool finds that we were able to come across, and so glad that we could capture it, document it, and of course, share it with all of you. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and of course, like always, I'll catch ya in the next one.